What do you mean? I guess we're gonna have to do it this way, but let me see if how's everybody doing today? Good, good, good. Well, anyways, it's 9 o'clock, 9:02 a.m. I said I want to get on started on time, no matter where I am at. But today, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this message is reaching you. But I am not at the Newport Beach site yet. And with whatever reason, I think it's meant to be this way. So, first of all, I'm grateful. This is my third episode of the live art exhibition, and I want to thank Espresso Urban Cafe and Thomas because he's offered such a great opportunity for someone like me to get to share other people's inspiration or message to this world. And this is my one way, creative way to be able to contribute back from all the amazing ups and downs in the world that I got to experience over the course of 5 years, I guess. And so as I practice to share with others, practice to sit down and to build the um, the series here. So, like I said, we're on episode 3, and my first guest was Johnny Yu, and if you follow him on Instagram or on YouTube here, you'll know that his song "Realize." I haven't heard back, but for some reason, um, that was a no-show. And then I had Gabe Pactamo, who also brought Jamry from Jamry TV. Hey, how's it going, Saints for the Lord? Hi, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for joining, and I really appreciate you. It is 9:04 a.m. I had set this at 9 a.m. I'm not at Newport Beach. And so, hi, Dreams. Thank you so much. And Amber, welcome. Well, happy Sunday, y'all. And if you are just joining for the first time, you could check out the other two lives that really kind of tee up where we're going. What do you do when all the plans that you had or the resources don't end up, meeting what you need? Do you still go forward with what you're committed to do? Some might say no. Hi, how are you, Joanne? Thank you for joining. I guess I literally came out of the shower and had this epiphany saying, "Where do I go, God?" Hi, 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 Joanne. Thank you for saying hi. The two most important days in your life are the days you are born and the days you find out why. Mark Twain. Man, thank you so much, Dreyu. This is great, you all. Oh my gosh, Joanne. If some of you don't have a church today and it's just a gathering place, a safe place like you're doing, saying hi, thank you, I may have some jackasses that come in and out and try to, push the envelope, but you started off saying something that let's find a reason. Who do we want to dedicate this session to? You know, um, my first session I dedicated to my mother. Second session was to my father. What do we do and they're still alive, but every day at times I have to practice forgiveness. And so the forgiveness piece, what do you do with that? It is, I can give you a reference. I could tell you, go Google it. The AI in this world today probably has enough of the human understanding until it can have the artificial understanding of how to really feel. It's as simple as you taking time and not punching the words into ChatGPT, but say, close your eyes, God. What is it? Or higher self, or my Buddha in me, or whatever it is. And the statement came into mind that may even frame up for you as I curate, whether this is a one-man show or I find pieces around me that is more priceless, more priceless. I could sit here and say, God, you've given me everything that I had said humanly I wanted. But on a godly level, I don't know how to appreciate it. He goes, Mark, Babicino, man, I need to remove some things in your life. You did nothing wrong. But I want you to understand if you love, and something that I appreciate that, Joe, we all wear different masks. In this so-called reality, we all play different types of characters. Like a Jim, yeah. Depending who we are around and what the conversations we have. We've been so conditioned in, in this false reality. Man, I don't even have to open a Bible or script as I sit here before you. Can you really look at yourself and ask who you really are? I wonder that, Bruce Lee, rest in peace, and then California will celebrate and honor him just like we do with Martin Luther King, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, all the dead presidents. But as we celebrate those people that say, I have a dream, can you really look at yourself and ask you who you truly are? I think that's the wonderful thing. Hey, Mike, bro, gonna take someone's soul in Mortal Kombat. See, I love that mindset of domination and making sure that it's them versus you, Mike. And the reality of Mortal Kombat, the reality of life today, it's so real that I'm sorry for you young generations and even some of you older ones like me who realize, yeah, I'm almost a half a century old, but I still feel like I'm only 10. So the frequency, parents, if you're not listening to this, I really hope that you stop and you drop and you roll. Because if you don't understand what I'm saying, you're on fire. You're gonna lose your family. You're gonna lose everything unless you start realizing those are all temporal. So, can you really look at yourself and ask who you truly are? I love that. Oh my goodness, Joanne Metcalf, I subscribe just for your kindness. If you could feel that intention, I know that if you practice what I'm preaching right now, little by little, you don't have to try so hard. In acting class, I used to try to figure out how can I cry? How can I, and then, stop. The people that I learned how to pretend to wear all these different masks, the art of theatrics, theater. That's what I am. I'm straight up an artist. I have the paperwork to tell you. I have the pictures that show, even the wonderful creators and directors who have shown me during a time where being golden, right, wasn't beautiful. Golden, not yellow, golden. So, bro, if you're going in there to take someone's soul in Mortal Kombat, who are you doing it for? Because that's the mindset when you go into school, when you go into church, when you go into office, when you go into that bedroom to engage your wife. You win. You don't lose. Today, I'm so lucky because before I didn't have places to go, things to do, All I did was cry inside and outside. I had a question. You bring a smile to my face, Joanne. I think that's where I'm embracing the calling of a comedian, a stand-up comedian. You know, it's funny if you look at all the pastors or all the preachers or those that have that high position and responsible for all those Mortal Kombat souls. If they don't know how to be art, then all of you are just receiving things that are just paid to play in this world. You know, the kindness, it it gets even better when you have like all the injustice, all the unrighteousness, all the false things, the teachings that a hurt wife, a hurt sister, hurt mother, a wrong father, a wrong uncle, wrong brother. You know, it starts from right here all the way down to the generations that, you know, soon you'll know what my family name really means. And when we forget and we practice what others preach, you don't become unique. You know, I like speaking in many different tongues. Trust me, it helps you to be a better lover. The one that I got stuck on was to the Spanish culture. Es porque mi eternal soul, mi sueño dormida persona te cambió. No sé. Generational trauma. I love, 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 love that. Do you remember where inside your childhood you witnessed your heart die? 3 years old. Most foulest thing. It was dark. Disgusting. The world doesn't want to address it, but you're a victim of child molestation, sexual trauma, that generational trauma at 3 years old. Remember terrible twos at 3. Now I have friends with very difficult situations with real baby fathers who are coming back that have real problems. How do we help them? Generational traumas. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault, man. Thank you. Keep saying that because between you and I, we have to remind them. Because, see, today, you know, it's not my fault that I'm not at Newport Beach. It's not my fault that I don't have all my obligations taken care of because the generational sin of believing in the world instead of one man is enough to change. And if you focus within yourself, that's what it is. I'm not here to blame. There's words that I hear and I pick up, and it makes me echo that louder than anyone else because I'm called to lead because I have served you all. How many of you have gone to Starbucks? How many of you love Starbucks? I'm the motherfucker that did that, right? All your licensed stores. How many of you hate and love USC? They have one of the most intelligent business staff that looked at the contract of a 25-page master license agreement. Now, I wasn't as experienced in this whole element of MBA, you know, a master in business administration. And there's things that are tied on paperwork and debt, right? Big up, I'll give Hope International University a shout out. And Cal Poly Pomona. I love that you say it's not your fault, it's not your fault. And it wasn't your fault. You know, we're talking about generational sin from 3 years old of being remembered and when my soul died and sexual trauma. And you can understand why the movies, the TVs, the victims of that behavior or the lust of doing that to younger children, um, there's a penalty to that. Now, when wives or other partners understand how to utilize a system and do things to ruin and hurt, it's just an addition to this generational curse. Now, you're like, dude, you're talking like church, generational, like Mortal Kombat. This guy's, I'm going after your soul. So am I. I'm coming after your soul. If I do this right, I can manipulate. See, if you hear that word, and most of the people are masks and with intentions of selfishness. And when I caught that in a person, a female person who used that word specifically as we're helping others, it turned me off. It helped me to recognize the narcissistic person or woman. It can be in the man. It's disguised in a very feminine-like behavior to create confusion. And so you see this a lot. And that's the piece that I wonder how and what do we need to do, you all, not to be distracted with people's choices or preferences in sexual pleasure, or, whether they feel I get more attention saying I'm this or that. I'm all man. And as all man, I have to understand what we do to make women or the feminine woman feel safe or not. Now, when the woman so I feel uncomfortable, pretends there's trauma in her life that she's not done. Ladies, if you're in divorce, you're in your process, and this is for the men too, but women especially, because a lot of you, for some reason, have access to the little children that you both have created. You need to stop, because if you claim things of the nature of holy God and trying to rebuild, it's just adulterous. And I have to be honest, because there's facts in the world that I've chosen to step into that women or entities, very dark entities, mask themselves in this industry that we call Hollywood. But it's okay now, because I love that the power of media, like we're doing today, allows us to equalize. Like this person said, Mortal Kombat. I wonder the guy that designed and created that game knew how much of a motherfucking cult leader that person is. You know what I mean? Because it's cultish, but it's the right type of cultish thinking. I've learned a lot being homeless. I've learned a lot being a drug addict. I've learned a lot now being divorced for 5 years. It sucks. Divorce sucks. Now, once I say that word, it wasn't your fault. Now, in a marriage, if you're a true man, you have to know you take that responsibility. Now, the other half is like the Eve tribe, you females who have it, you can't help yourself. Your mama wouldn't listen to God. Why would he listen to his husband or the keeper, the protector? And that's the thing. Once you just start lying a little bit to your spouse, your partner, your boyfriend, that's when it starts. Imagine the things after 21 years of faithful marriage, the things that popped up, two become one. You start detoxing, start seeing all their sin. Mine was already surrendered. Mine came from another world. That's why, my father says, son, you want to come back, you need to remove your tattoos, you remove that. I can't. It's just a waste of money. I can, but that's not the meaning. How is it that Pastor Johnny Chang from Watching can actually go in and out and is truly has killed, stolen, it's facts, but he gets to walk in a much convenient way. But he's told you, look, it's not me. I have to read the Bible all the time. I have to go back to that word, because we don't want to go back into that cell. And for the pastors who have the title, who have that position, you know who you are. And what's going to happen, because God knows, and as I sit in a human state to just watch your beautiful life, I'm wondering one more time, because I really caught somebody in an experience reaching out and asking, communicate to this to one person. That's not my area of expertise. But you could take all my money from church. You can offer for my kids to come play over in a big house that took me so much to earn. And I see you going to Hawaii and all this stuff. And I wonder, man, how come you guys didn't open church during COVID if it was only 250 members? Why aren't you strategizing? Why are you taking vacations with other people's money? You know, the biggest crooks are the ones that won't admit, you know, even privately to themselves and God. And I'm just practicing as we, one day, if you haven't experienced this, you get judged, right? You know what I mean? These cops in this city that I live in seem to really think that their badge and the color of their skin, as we look at this, and they're driving late at night through my neighborhood and the helicopters. Bro, no. Stop watching Instagram, motherfucker. Stop hanging out. Go and take the homeless, the addicts off of the streets and into your office and pray over them. There's about, oh my goodness, $600,000 sitting in a mob. You think about, they're each $100K a year. And I look at this neighborhood, and I look at LA, and I look at Santa Ana, I look at it. They're wasting, you know, and the fact that we hear, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. I hope that if you're going into a church and you're coming home, it's not your fault and it's not their fault. If you have the blessing and the freedom and the invitation to be in a four wall, man, God needs to destroy some of these churches that he has told people he loves. But the ones that understand and who say that can really say that to say, look, where's the 75 fucking million dollars? And did you convert your church into that Disneyland? My family, wherever they're at, they're priceless. And the people that like to send different perspectives, if you're a pastor's wife, have your husband send it. It's wrong for you to do that. No matter how big you think you are, you get it, Miss Min? And that doesn't really change or matter. And I love that if you and I are like this, Joanne. Hey, hi. Thank you. You're back. I love that people can encourage each other, be authentic, use this platform in a way that can help others feel free, feel light. Let me, in this form of art, you know, the experiences that I saw in, and I'll take you there soon, in Ensenada, you're like, yeah, but Casa de Limpiando Lemas. You know, it's like a movie, but I needed it. A horror film, but I needed it. And because I survived, and because it was that time, I needed it. And so if you move up into the ranks of this world, you have to practice and know that's still a lie, you guys. Yeah? Whether you think that isn't or not, whatever that means the right way or not, you're still practicing a lie. That's called a, you know. But as you start understanding a little bit more of that, everyone has a unique message. Even, this is not your fault, this is not your fault, this is not your fault. I want to say that to my children. Whatever's happened, whatever it is, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. To my ex, it wasn't your fault. But the choices she made, that she did see and intentionally do, that is, and we can repair. And the time is done. And then now it's like, oh my gosh, what other lie as we clean up? And I want to end with this. And I think this is where I have to end. And then maybe I pop up again. And I love you all. Joanne, even you, Drew, you guys have really shown how the power of, church without walls. And this is a coined term by Dave Gibbons of New Song Church. And, it's nice to look back on all that offering money you give up and you see and you go, man, that pastor went on and fucked up his marriage, but he used my offering money, went to Thailand, and he fucks up another church in Orange County. And it's just like, but see, he has to then eat it, And that's like, these pastors that are like gangsters and now that, like, or triads, they have to eat it. And then they have to find a different way because that's sin. That's their choice and the mark. Whether you're a beast or not, and you understand that the numbers and the coverage, this world is all under, a minor false leader. But the true leader is within yourself if you stand and rise, but then you don't know what that is. So Pastor Johnny Chang, where 1 million people want to be like him, right? As certain white communities want you to think that the black community wants to hurt each other, or certain, other community want to say this race and that race. We're not meant to do that. But the ones that are behind the scenes pushing and poking and prodding, that these rooms that I'm getting into, it's amazing. The more you understand art, you're going to get a deeper acceptance or realization of who God is. Not just up there, but in here. It amazes them how fast I can do things when they continue to add physical things, and I'm not, any better. I'm just in the same spot. I'm just being obedient to my good generational wisdom. And with that good generational wisdom comes a lot of generational curses. If you find yourself frustrated or you get the emotion rising and stuff, you are in a spiritual mortal combat. If you have that relationship that says, fuck you, mom, fuck you, dad, and that's all it is, man, and you're not doing anything better than just doing that and playing Mortal Kombat, fucking die. And then rise up again and say, with what? Well, Hebrews 12:13 is what Johnny Chang said to me when I said, what's the good word? And I won't tell you, you got to go search it. John 3:16 is on the cup of in and out, and that should tell every time you in and you're out. If you don't have that, then it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to understand 1 John 1:9. I love that we did this. You're the best gift, and if you don't know, and as long as I'm not taking credit of this amazing idea, I know God's going to take this and bless it for Thomas at Espresso Urban Cafe, for Jamry and his 10 kids, for Gabe and his choices of, he's got a lot of decisions he has to make. And then whether people in this world come around to support, there's evidence. But then when there's evidence of truth, the lies have to keep getting. You use ChatGPT, you start ruining other people's lives, and that money's not worth it. Thank you so much for listening. What can I share in terms of an art thing? Jason Lee didn't want to call back because he knows he's doing some naughty things, and you can't hate your own culture, disrespect, and draw and paint on women. I wish the women would wake up. And the ones that have gone through the, process and saying it really happened, he's in big trouble, And so I think that maybe this season, the line, I do want communication with my family, but I want to create a boundary because the people that I'm dealing with are not going to appreciate what I appreciate. So, I've gone very deep into what it is that people would say, wow. that my neighbor would say, oh, I think two shins are better than one. And you better say that, because you know why it's so funny? Because you're listening. You're listening, and gossip in the community, unless it's raising and building community, shut the fuck up. You know, don't use the resources that allow you to look into other people's lives when you are lying. You know, judges that of color that come into this space, or former executives that don't want to accept that you were wrong, sir. You don't talk to young children like that when their parents aren't. And your children can't fuck up your property when you can't let them in your house. So there's a difference between white is right and what is right, between white, black. You know, I could say the N word because I'm that. I don't like to, but a lot of them like to say that. Um, Lefty Gunplay, he performed with Black China out there. He was out here in Paris, California. Supposed to be in Murrieta, but you know, his choice of doing what this and his leadership, I can respect that from someone knowing that if he's on this shit, we don't do this, it's gonna get crazy. There's one stupidity that came into the place, but you're not gonna know what that was unless the others are gonna see that. But big ups to Baldwin Park. You know, I like seeing things representing where my children are from, and also, you know, thank you so much for you all. I guess it doesn't have to be too difficult, right? You know, let my director friends know, unless it's like you really had something good to do today, you missed out. And sometimes we have our own priorities and we want to say, hey man, it's better, but then I don't think so. Especially if I'm driving the momentum, if I'm the talent. And if you were the talent and you're finally getting to know this is you and this is how it is to play on a team. You feel me? There's superstars. There's some people have to sit on the bench. That others that saying, you better fucking go. I don't care. I'm staying back. It's you. Who's gonna watch my kids? You gotta trust. But that's the thing, y'all. Art is so amazing. I love also the fact that the federal government is seeing that the cannabis and that the category whatever, man, the government is gonna have to pay a lot of things back unless we figure out why. You know, and so, and Newsom, we got personal issues because your adopted son or whatever did something to my real daughter, and you know, Woodcrest or Woodbridge Christian Church out there in Riverside, you owe me a lot of money. But this is what happens when, you know, lying wives get their way. But then that's a movie, true story. And at the same time, there's people that put their kids through that. This is twice. This is a second family. You sue companies for money and you do that. There's something not right with that place. You get me? Happened to me here in Orange County. Now I think a Korean church takes over. There's no more Calvary Church. Mr. Raider fucked up. You feel me? So there's things that the generational things start coming and I go, oh, that's why. So before I die, before someone or my kid comes up and says, Dad, you did that, then explain it to them. And that's what I hope that this is. And no, I'm not a pastor. And if I was called to do it, I rejected it because I have a hard time pastoring my own family because it's different. I don't know how this family is together. When he yells, he does all this stuff. I don't do that. I didn't do that. Then I did that. And then it's like there's lies at people. Then I go to the Father who still practices, you know, all of those things. Once you're caught, you got to get stopped. That's why I went all the way to Ensenada to learn. And there's more to come as K-Boss and who I am. And, you know, you can't have the Maceros running around utilizing that his family is this and not really give back. And the kids that are coming out of hard places, once you're 18, if those families don't show you love, it's not okay to be young and smoking and all that shit. So I really hope that, you know, Child Protective Services does look at things like that. You know, instead of like, well, you got tattoos, you said this and stuff. Man, you guys are stupid. It's just easy to tell people, no, might as well believe this, otherwise you're gonna die. See, don't love me anymore, fear me, because I show God's love. I think God has shown enough of God's love. It's time to show God's fear. You feel me? Respect. What do you think? I don't know. That's kind of like righteous anger. It's okay. But don't let that flood into the next conversation of love, light, and then keep space open, practice forgiveness. It's amazing. And I hope you're not disappointed that we couldn't go to the beach and see all these things. I think I can really tap into my own spirituality and say, how do I utilize the resources? Whether the manager was willing to give me what was rightfully mine, or he did what he said, or it's just me saying, control all the people's intentions to understand my calling for you, my son, is much greater. I love that in this season of mine, I am in that place. And then there's ways to document this. There's ways to tell you all, hey, man, this is how I'm going to live. This is how it's going to be. So, and if it's like, well, mom doesn't have to say anything. Dad doesn't have to say anything. I just have to be real with you. What do you think to that? Well, I hope you like this art. I am priceless. $9.99. Subscribe now. No, but look it. I'm gonna be at Lake Elsinore. I think what it is also, y'all. I made a commitment, right? I made a commitment to myself. I love the brother and the family of this company, and as I'm trying to do my best to bring to speed my family of the benefits, right? And what I'm doing, is I love the brand. I love their hats. This is going for, you go into the store, I think it's like $25. If you see me, I'm going to ask for $35 because I need to make gas money. I need to make $10, right? And then with that, you get to see some amazing, fun little art here. I created this piece at a event, I called it an art show. And I love how I said, hey, Blaze Utopia, guys, do we have stickers? And art, as I rock this, people go, damn, that's a fly hat. I know, thank you so much. And what I'm looking for is like sponsorship, right? People who, and then it's like, or a job, or really, I'm finding I'm so crazy that I have to create my own company, to hire myself, to fire myself, to put people around me, good people around me, right? Basketball stars, Hollywood executive producers, directors, everyone that's done everything, has a computer, has everything, but no action. And I get to be that action, as we all take turns to enjoy life as a family, life as a, as just normal beings in this planet we call Earth, if it is going to be Earth, can we change it to something else? Thank you for the hearts, John. I hope this really encouraged your day. And then please feel free to send me messages or DMs to say, you could do this, get better. I love this. It's kind of like my way of improving when I do comedy. When I grab my guitar, I would go into the house. It's not my home, y'all. Don't fall in love with the material things. It belongs to something, to somebody, and you guys all have it. If you're in your car, it's because you didn't take care of it. If you're in the streets, it's because you are just overwhelmed with the pressures that it comes with making sure everything is cared for. And when the baby mamas and the baby dramas and, in that young time, you're dealing with a lot, right? So that even myself didn't know how to guide that. And I see young men with very mature spirits that are guiding fathers of, time like mine to get to a place where you have to surround yourself with the right folks that can help guide or continue to tap in to say, not my will, but your will be done. And if that's the case, then I know that the tattoos on my body are only going to get better because I want my half-sis to fix them. No, because I believe that there is a father-daughter, and see, my mom has this issue. And she doesn't want to do it. The thing is that she has an issue, but we can show that this is where it is. There's healing, you feel me? And opportunities to do so much more, man. Art is amazing. So Sunday, 9 to 1, that is usually Farm Habit, Newport Beach, and they're out there rain or shine if you're in the Orange County area. I love what I'm working on with Tony, and I wish I had everything set up. I just said, look, what do you want me to do? It's 9:01, 9:02, and we're here. And the live itself. And usually I like it set more, not vertically like this, but more the other way. So some things that I'm learning as I go, and the teams that you build. Of course, it's easy to hire people when you can give them money, but imagine finding the gifts and talents and then running across the people that want to give you product, right? It's not here that I'm going to do this, but if you're following me here, go to, hi again, Cannabis TV Network. That's also a platform. But if you're not 21 or older, I just ask you stay, don't go that way. But here's the thing, a lot of my content today, uh, if you're a young adult and you can process this, and good for you. If you're a minor and you're watching, man, please go ask your parents if it's okay. And then if I've got the right people here, even the people that I've helped, and you want to continue to be in denial and misuse the resources and the kindness, you know who you are. It's okay. Um, you're a part of this whole game that has taught me that it is and it shouldn't be, but it'll well. And it's okay when people of that nature are showing me, as long as they don't know and you have the power and you don't get caught. And that's what the world is believing. And I don't know if that's right or wrong. What do you think? Do you guys have everything ready? I don't know. Maybe we do one song. We do something. I've been jonesing touching that piano. Let me see. Can I? Easy way. I know, eh? Sorry, bear with me. Thank you guys so much. I'm trying to figure out. I guess you can't. You cannot turn this thing off. But here, we're gonna walk just for my safety and security. But look at it as a reality show. If I can have this space. Um, yeah, we're gonna do something. And then we'll hang out. I need love. You need love. We need love. Thank you. Sounds better with the violin. This is keyboard because someone's sleeping. I need love like you need love, like we need love, like the world needs love. I do. Sunshine and rain, light and blues don't mix. I'm telling you, I know I do. What do you guys think? I don't know. That's it. That song, the melody. You keep hearing me practicing. I need love, you need love, we need love, the world needs love. I do, I do. So thank you so much. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's this. Let me see if I can record this. You gave me good vibes right there. Thank you so much, Joanne. I appreciate you. Bye. I'm gonna do this again Sunday, but we'll be at Thomas's shop, Espresso Urban Cafe in Corona, 1 to 3. Please join, follow. Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday. Well, thank you so much. That's going to end my session for today. I'm going to record that. You inspired something. I don't know. That just came out today. I believe art is life. I believe you understand art, you understand God a lot more. If you don't understand art, you're going to have a hard time understanding God. You feel me? If you understand God, art, everyone loves art. But if you can't understand art, you're going to have a hard time understanding God. You feel me? All right. God bless you.